So today was the first day of the Worlds 2024 play-in stage. Very, very exciting to start up the World Championship here. And in the first game, we got a pretty entertaining draft, not gonna lie. Mad Lions versus Viking Esports to start out Worlds. And by the first pick on blue side, you can tell that Mad Lions are really something here. Nidalee B1 for Mad Lions, and this, I believe, is really a reflection of Mad Lions not really knowing the meta, and teams just generally being uncomfortable with, different picks, different meta things, and trying to figure out what champions are going to become more consistent in the meta at Worlds. And when teams don't really know what those things are going to be, they typically resort to comfort and champions that they're just more comfortable playing and think that they can perform well on individually. So Nidalee's going to be the B1 pick for MDK. I will add, even though I hate the pick, especially B1, especially Nidalee, whatever, MDK did flex this multiple times to top lane in the playoffs in LEC. So that is one advantage that this pick gives Mad Lions, is the flex potential between top and jungle. It's not as bad as it could be. I still obviously don't like the pick. Nidalee's not a good champion in any circumstance. So that's that, but Mad Lions picking it and being able to flex it does add some potential to the pick. Vikings go ahead and first rotate Orianna and Poppy. Orianna's very strong. I think she's just generally a very strong champion, not really weak at any point in the game. She's also good as just a blind pick. She doesn't really have a whole lot of losing matchups. I will say that they need to ban Yone in second phase because Yone is pretty much the one really hard losing matchup Orianna has, and he can also outscale her. So that is, yeah, and there is the Yone on the first ban in second phase. So like I said, that's really, really good from Viking. They pretty much automatically have a guaranteed winning mid lane matchup, or at least neutral. And obviously Orianna scales great, has really good utility and really good team fight power as well. The Poppy I don't like as much because it's just kind of there. Yes, it has three-way flex potential between top, jungle, and mid, but I typically like Poppy more as an answer into things with high mobility and high dashes. All we really see is Nidalee on the other enemy team. I don't think that's enough to pick Poppy, especially when Nidalee's not really going to be in range of Poppy to be grounded. Mad Lions go ahead and 2-3 Jinx and Cassante. Jinx is fantastic. She did just receive buffs in 14-18 for this Worlds patch, so you're probably going to be seeing a lot of her throughout the World Championship, so very, very strong there. Even as a blind pick, she doesn't really have a whole lot of hard counters in lane. Obviously, hyperscales really, really well. The Cassante is just, whatever. Obviously, they don't know where the Poppy's going, but they end up self-counter picking. The Cassante doesn't do very well into the Poppy at all. So that's going to be a losing matchup for them in top lane. Honestly, they should have just picked something like Ornn or Malphite to have an actual tank and, something that can't lose lane very easily. But the Cassante is what it is. Again, when people don't know what meta is, they just pick what they're comfortable on. And I think that's what's happening here. And then Vikings close out the first phase with Ezreal, which is really, really good. It does fine in the Jinx. It's kind of a neutral lane matchup that's not going to be doing a whole lot. I'm actually going to rewind and pause, or just rewind here. So yeah, the Ezreal's fine. It scales well, it has long range, it can function well into the Jinx because he doesn't have to run into the Jinx to hit her, which is very nice. So nothing wrong with that pick. And then Mad Lions round out with Nautilus and Syndra, which I think is pretty interesting. Nautilus just isn't a great lane partner with Jinx. The combo just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense synergy-wise. Obviously, Nautilus is just picked again because it's comfort, it's basic, it's what teams are comfortable playing with and willing to play with. And he has point-and-click CC, even though he's probably just going to die 6 times and not really have a whole lot of use in the game. That's going to be it. And then Syndra has also kind of come out as a really premier pick in the mid lane in the last couple patches, so she's going to be very, very strong. We're back to the old classic Syndra Orianna matchup in the mid lane, so those are going to be pretty neutral lane states, but both of them are going to be really strong in scaling team fights. And then Viking go ahead and last pick R5 Camille to counter the Cassante, so obviously utilizing the Poppy flex pick there and sending Camille into top lane. Really hard winning matchup for Camille. She's also going to outscale the Cassante. I really highly recommend Viking don't play for team fights this game. There's no way they ever win team fights into this Jinx Syndra backline. They should just scale and let Camille side lane. Also, I wanted to point out that they are for Lee Sin, and in this first, I actually gave an audible laugh when I first saw this draft. First game of Worlds, and we're already back to the degenerate jungle matchup meta with the Lee Sin and Italy. Two completely useless champions, neither of which really do anything. So it's unfortunate to see, but it looks like we're going to be going back to that degenerate early game fighter kind of style jungle, like Xin Zhao and like Jarvan. So going to be pretty interesting to see how the meta evolves at Worlds nonetheless. But anyways, pretty big draft win for Mad Lions in my opinion, even though they got a pretty disadvantageous matchup in the top lane. I just think the scaling and teamfight power of Syndra Jinx is very, very strong, and they do have adequate front line to buy space, and I don't think that Ezreal's going to have enough damage to be able to cut through the tanks, and he's not going to be able to really deal with the range of the backline very, very well. So nice draft win for game 1 for Mad Lions. Let me know what you guys thought of the series today at Worlds. Thanks for watching. See you next time.